Now, if I go back to my desktop screen, just to show you guys what I'm looking at here, this is what I've been playing over and over. Okay, this has been Olivia's fiddle playing. Okay, so very handy to sort of practice along to. And do, of course, check out the link to the original thing, you know, so hopefully I'm not butchering it too badly on the channel. But do go to her channel and listen to the original and practice with that on the 6th capo. But what I'm going to do when I sort of introduce this to my students is I'm going to move it all down, or maybe all up, one way or the other, probably up, but to keep it in like an A minor sort of sound. How do I do that? How do I sort of practice now with Olivia's playing, given that she's going to be in a different key to me? Well, there's another app that I use. There's an app for that. The one that I use is Pitch Switch. Now, Pitch Switch, guys, it is a paid app, but I think it's pay once, own forever. At least it was when I've got it. Do check it out online. Pitch Switch. I think it was something like 47 quid when I first got it, which is expensive enough, but when you look at what it can do, it is a bargain, you know, compared to some apps that are out there. All you need to do is to drag your file into this. So if I was to bring up where I've kept this file on my computer, let me see. Yeah, here is, I think, yeah, this is the original here. If I was to drag that in, just like this, and just let go, there we go. Pitch Switch, Hanley's Tweed, reeled by Paddy O'Brien. So what you can do in this is you can change the pitch, you can change the tempo, which is really handy. And you can also even mess around with the EQ level a wee bit. Okay, so if I go back just to my main pick, just to show you what I'm doing here. Actually, I'll go back to the Bouzouki one. So here's the Bouzouki one. I've now moved the capo from that 6th fret to the 7th fret to keep it in line with what most of the tunes I'd be playing that are in A Dorian, I think, or Aeolian. It's hard enough to say that. Yeah, so we're in the Aeolian mode. Yeah. So that is basically our A power chord now up here. And it looks exactly the same as without the capo as if you were playing D power chord. So I know some students will still call it, just like when you swap between tin whistles, some students will still call holding all 6 fingers down, they'll still think of it as D in their head, even though it may be B flat or C that comes out. It's the same thing for some students who are doing Bouzouki playing. They still think of this as D after they added the capo. But of course, what's coming out is, if we add the thing here and then play the, whoops, there's where we are, 7 frets above. So those are the notes that you actually hear are A, E, A. Okay, so yeah, be aware that there's then, this is the standard sort of key to be in, but you are going to have players, like especially players who are accomplished and, you know, they've released albums and, you know, they know their instrument inside out. They're going to be playing in more advanced keys than the ones that you or I would be used to. So like going between the frets is quite normal, especially for fiddle. And there's other instruments, even banjo does it quite a bit as well. There's certain tunes that I would, as a whistle, flute and uilleann pipe player, I would not be able to play because their tuning is just more advanced than what I can handle. But for you guys who are playing Bouzouki or a guitar, you should be able to figure it out. Okay, and it's up to you on the day. Don't put the pressure on the performers. And what key are we in? That's a little tip for anyone who's in a session, especially when the person's playing. You know, don't try and make eye contact and ask them key. You know, they're concentrating on playing on the tune. It's up to you to sort of listen out and try and find the the tonic. So if we go back to the desktop and listen to the original, here's the original again. This is what Olivia was playing on her Facebook reel, which is capo down. Okay, so that's the original. Here's what happened when we put it in here and we just moved it up a semitone. You're literally moving up a semitone. You're moving it up a fret on your guitar or on your bouzouki. So. And of course, if you want to slow it down, be aware, I usually never go lower than, say, 70% or something, because it does start to quite badly warp. Now that's what I would do if I'm learning the tune, especially for tin whistle or something. You know, I would slow it down if the performer doesn't have like a copy of it, or, you know, if they're not sure, you know, what the notation or the notes are. And especially if they're playing in a completely different key, there's not much point in you bothering them for the notes, because they're going to give you the notes that you may not be able to play. If I was trying to learn this tune, just realized that I'm gonna have to be here. If I was trying to learn this tune on the tin whistle from the original sound, it probably would be on a very unusual tuning or a very weird whistle I would need to get. But if I moved it up into the standard, which is, you know, capo going up one more fret, I can easily play that on the D whistle. Well, not easily, you have to learn it. But I'll show you what it looks like when I've moved this over, or moved this up into a new key. I was able to put this into MuseScore, again, another free notation program for any of you guys who are interested in this stuff. And I was able to, if I open this, hopefully it actually does open. Is it not going to open? Oh, it is open, okay. It's down here. Radio. I can zoom in on this though. So this is the new tune, or the tune that's been transposed up a fret, up a semitone, into A. That's me playing it back just on the MuseScore playback there. So yeah, that's the tune that I would learn on the whistle. The stuff, if you're wondering why is this in red, that's little variations that I was trying to listen out to Olivia's playing and think, right, I like the way she's doing this little part here. You know, maybe the first time around she's following the blue, and then the second time around she plays it, she's doing like another different variation. So you can see how many times she's put in variations, like once, or how many times I've been able to find the variations. She's probably put in a heck of a lot more than that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different places. And that's just from one playing, because I think she did it as a reel, as a short, and you're playing the A section once and then the B section, or you're playing the A section and then repeat the A section, and then you're playing the B section and repeat the B section, and then that was it. It's about 40-50 seconds and that's it. So you can imagine if she's playing that tune 3 times, not just once, through 3 times, AABB, 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 she could have like dozens of variations in there. So I wouldn't get them all. I'm just looking to get the ones that, you know, stuck out for me, and the ones that I could easily play on the whistle. Good thing about this program as well is that it allows you to sort of, you know, take different positions in it. You know, I just want to hear like this little section over and over and just loop it. So this is why I love Pitch Switch, because you can easily learn tunes off this just by ear. You can slow it down, change the key, change the actual EQ levels as well if you want to bring out more bass or less treble or whatever, and then save it as all those edits, so you don't have to go in and redo it every time. You just go back to what you were saving. It's compared to the way I was learning, you know, from tape recorder back in the day. You can see how far on it's come for learning new tunes. So the only thing I really use it for is changing the key, maybe a semitone here or there, and slowing it down to maybe 70% just to learn the tune on a tin whistle or something. But as I say, check out the original. Like, of course, none of this does any justice to her playing on her actual Facebook account. So go over and check out her Facebook account and her album as well. And it's obviously a thousand times better than this, because when you start slowing it down and changing the tuning, it's nowhere near as nice as the original. Here's the original again. So much nicer and brighter, you know, so more authentic, more warmer than what I was doing with all this. Yeah, so those are the 3 programs, guys, for my learning, and I will be sort of touching on them, you know, every week, just a wee bit here and there. But yeah, so the first one was audio hijack, which is just to get the audio to actually hear it, and then there it is as a wee file. The second thing is putting it into Pitch Switch so I can change the key and then slow it down if I want to learn it. And then the third thing is putting it into notation. And I actually I asked Olivia just what is the actual name of this, because I've never heard it before, but it's a bloody great tune. It's a great reel. And yeah, that's where I put it now. So for any of my whistle students, you know, I would give them something that's like this, or maybe a wee bit, you know, with an actual tin whistle fingering, or maybe the ABC notation underneath or something, you know. So yeah, 3 things: audio hijack, Pitch Switch, and MuseScore, which MuseScore is free. This last one, you don't have to pay anything for it. If you're wondering as well, guys, what is the other thing that I'm using there, just to sort of display, if I go back to Bouzouki, just to display the fretboard. This is an app called Reverse Chord. Again, if you do a Google search for Reverse Chord app, don't know if it's available in other platforms. Obviously, it's available on iOS and Mac. You know, that's the main thing for this, I think, for the guys who made it. Very handy, and you can put as many strings, I think up to 12 strings, and different and whatever tuning that you want. So obviously, I only have 4 strings for, you know, 2 for each. Well, doubled course, if you think of it, like that's the 4th course with two strings are meant to be there, 2 strings for the 3rd course, 2 strings for the 2nd course, and 2 strings for the 1st course. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with a, you know, a display like that for Bouzouki, but it's handy enough, and it does all the analysis for you as well. You can also change all the letters to numbers to let you see what fret you're on. So sometimes I might go in and do that, like, you know, see the way I've just clicked this button and it's now saying flat and 7th, or, you know, the 5th, or whatever, or just put it back to the note. So yeah, there's loads of things you can do with that as well. I'm not too sure how much that was, guys, but it is paid, because it's, yeah, that'll put quite a bit of effort into these apps.